It's great to see you out, despite the advisory. And welcome. I just want to welcome you and also make a couple quick comments. One is that we are obviously honored to host you guys here tonight, and also to welcome our newest member to Louisville. He came from Sweden, he and his family. I don't think his family is here yet, but many of you may have already met Aldi Milliken and Aldi. And Aldi, you want to stay up and say a few words, or
sure.
Not to pick you on the spot. If you need a mic, here's a mic.
I got a nice loud voice like you do. Anyway, thank you, Shannon, and thank you all for I guess engaging in this interesting discussion I'm just learning about. I've been here for 4 days, so excuse me if I just listen tonight. I was coming through town this summer with my family because we had done I did some projects for the Barzens when they were in Sweden. I had curated a few shows for them, so we were coming through town and visiting, and I happened upon KMAC and specifically the board president, Elizabeth Mays, who had said that they were looking for a new director. And I fired off 100 questions to her right there on the spot. I had previously been working in a commercial gallery context and looking for a new way or a new position in the institutional world or the museum world. So when this opportunity came up for me, I really ran to it. I thought that the institution had a lot of potential, and the city was kind of an interesting place to work or to engage in. Specifically because a lot of the artists that I was working with in Europe were talking about materiality, they were talking about craft, design, they were talking about the object. And when you come to a place like this, where there are many interesting artists working with those concepts, then I think you can fuse an interesting dialogue between the contemporary art world, the contemporary fine art world that I was working in, and the craft, design, and architecture world that exists in all of us. But I think that people are making some interesting things here. For the first few months, or for the first shows at KMAC, since I will start there, mostly will be from a foreign perspective. The first show that we'll open with in February will be from Caribbean artists, in a show that again dialogues around the object and materiality. The Caribbean is a really interesting place right now. There's been a lot of shows that have stereotyped the Caribbean. There's maybe an exhibition with 40 or 50 artists in it because curators have a hard time talking about a place so diverse. And I took a different tact. I Skyped with artists from the Caribbean. My wife wouldn't let me go. I was Skyping with artists from the Caribbean. I've been Skyping with artists from the Caribbean, and I think we've made a pretty interesting show with about 10 artists who are from Trinidad, who are from the Caribbean or Caribbean. They're living in London, they're living in Japan, they're living in New York. For this exhibition, KMAC will fly a great artist, a young artist named Marlon Griffith from Japan. We're going to bring in someone from London, and then a woman from Puerto Rico who hopefully will tag the museum. We're going to start looking at the museum as an interesting context or a new context to make works. The other thing.
Not to rush you, but we're
we gotta go.
Everything that you said.
Sorry.
We're going to have to upload.
I already got it. I know that I'm not the main attraction. Sorry. Anyway, it's really nice to see you here. February 3rd is our first show. Come on to that. Come and show your support for the institution and for this new direction that the board and I will hopefully lead us on. Thank you.
All right.
In our community, in the arts community, and a wonderful addition to our quilt here in Louisville. And Craig Caviar is really responsible for getting this whole thing going. And Craig, if you might want to just stand up and give us a quick rundown or note, whatever you'd like to do, you're welcome to talk about it. And there's a copy of a letter that sort of was signed by 20, 25 different artists and dealers and gallery owners around town, and I'll hand it off with that.
Well, I don't really have much to say. Most of what I've said is in the letter, and I'm very happy that we're entering this discussion, which is very timely, and Barbara can answer all your questions.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the main attraction of the night, the irresistible, the fabulous, the wonderful Barbara Sexton Smith!
At the Fund for the Arts, we like to think we are evolutionary. We can change on a dime in a moment's notice. So the umbrellas became snowbrellas today. All right. Y'all are supposed to say, here, here. All right, here's what I would like to do, if you would allow me to. I'll run through just a really quick overview presentation of the Fund for the Arts, sort of lay us some historical information, which is what I needed to do with a lot of intense study last spring as things started evolving. So with that, I want to introduce you to my grandfather, yes, my corporate grandfather, that is, Mayor Charles Barnsley. Mayor Charles Barnsley had a dream. And in 1949, he decided in order to lead this community in this region through economic development, education, and quality of life issues, which is every mayor's responsibility, he had to create a structure that would provide funding for arts and culture. He knew then that a community could not grow unless it had a thriving arts community. So, the Fund for the Arts was founded in 1949 as an umbrella fundraising organization with a support of the arts and a focus on economic development, education, and quality of life for all of its citizens. And then, from that point forward, we launch into our vision. The vision of the Fund for the Arts, we all know it. We plaster it all over everything. It's very simple. Together through the arts, we create a great American city. And if you have a vision, you must have a mission to back that up. Our mission in 1949 stood to generate resources. Remember, he said it was an umbrella fundraising organization. To inspire excellence, that would be on and off the stage, and to create community connections. That is what we must do. To create community, I used to say right there, Benton knows this, we would build bridges and create community connections, but Julie, that was a real problem. Julie, I am so glad to see you. Stand up, sit. Everybody, I'm sure everybody knows Julie Schweitzer. From the Arts Council of Southern Indiana, I just want to give you big kudos for braving the weather and coming across the bridge. Did anybody else come across the bridge to come here? Oh, gosh. Thank you to all of you. Okay, all of y'all stand up. Go ahead, stand up. Give them all a But we've got to continue to create community connections. And that is our mission. It was in 1949, and it is today. Now, what is our strategy? There has been so much conversation in the last 11 months about the Fund for the Arts having a strategy, not having a strategy. And if I see in the paper one more time that we do not have a strategy, I may start pulling my hair out, Gabe. I could, possibly. I have been cutting it, okay? It's been on for 11 months, yeah. Almost. All right, we have a strategy. And we have looked at that strategy again. And that strategy is very simple, but it's very focused, and it's well thought out, and it's connected. Our strategy is to be relevant, to be innovative, and to be evolutionary. You spoke, we listened, and big changes came to the Fund for the Arts in the last 11 months. More than 1,000 people responded to the online survey, just like that. And the results were loud and clear. They said, you've got to be relevant, you've got to be innovative, and you've got to be evolutionary. I'm going to let you guys be the judge. And to that point, our process, in case there's any doubt about what who the Fund for the Arts listens to, of course we listen to the community. That's what I do as the president and CEO. But we are donor-led and volunteer-driven. If you study your United Way systems nationwide, they're the creator of this umbrella fundraising organization for community building. All right? They're all more than 90 years old. That's where I grew up. I don't know if y'all knew that or not. CJ, did you know that I grew up at